Thank you very much. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the AREA seminar, the AREA Forum. It's an important moment for refrigeration and conditioning. We have a new regulation. We have a new certification regulation. And today we are talking about the future of training and certification with AREA, the European Association of Technicians. Only two information for you. You will receive a bag with the latest magazine with AREA article in it. You will receive also the program of today. Will last 1 hour. 1 hour starting now. And we will keep the questions at the end. We will all come here on the podium, all the speakers, and we take the questions. So we will give you all the information. So bear with us for 45 minutes, and then 15 minutes at the end for the question. We are very happy to answer your question, to hear your view on this important topic. We have new refrigerants, what we need the technicians to handle this refrigerant properly. So I don't go on more. I pass to my president, Coen van de Sande. He will talk about the AREA position on certification of personnel in the context of F-gas 3.0. Thank you, Coen. Please come here to the podium. Thank you very much. I give you my mic if you want. No problem. And here you have the points going up and down, and also pointing. Okay? Yes, boss.
Okay, thank you, Marco. Okay, now my turn. Thank you, Marco, to have an introduction of AREA. First, myself. I'm president of AREA since 2022, board member since 2014, and in the day-to-day business, I work as a director of the Dutch association NVKL. And before that, I was a contractor from 87 to 2009. About AREA. Now, we are an association of association, and we are the employers of the technicians. So we have 25 national member associations, since yesterday 26, from 23 countries. Over 13,000 companies are member of AREA. Employing 110,000 people. Our members are for 90% small and medium enterprises with an average number of employees of 9. And our annual turnover is at 23 billion. And of course, we are the link between users and manufacturers. So, today is all about the Implementation Act. You all hear about the F-gas regulations. It's published in March, and where we waited for very long was the Implementation Act from the European Commission that was published on 6th of September, and it's went into force at the 29th of September 24. And it's all about certification schemes that will be implemented by the 27 member states. And my colleague Stepan will tell you all about it in the next presentations. But most important, that the member state has to be ready a year from the 29th of September 2025. So there's a lot of work to do for member states and the national associations. And the most important thing is that within the new F-gas regulations, we have to make a shift from environmental thinking to safety thinking. And it's the new refrigerants that we are supposed to work with are all toxic, explosive, flammable, high pressure. So our technicians has to be educated for safety reasons. Our position captured in our vision paper. We made a vision paper for 2030, and of course this is the most important item. We support the transition from F-gases to alternatives, as mentioned by the European Commission, but for a successful implementation, we need to train and certify all our technicians, and that means that from now on, from the next year, we have to train and certify about 500,000 people, because we also made a transition from gas boilers to heat pumps, and the heating contractors and the plumbers also have to be trained and for working with these refrigerants, and that's a huge step. Our own technicians are used to work with refrigerants, but that particular group, and which is a very large group, have to be trained from the start off. So that's a big challenge. And another thing that worries me is that the market is moving faster than the regulation. So the big manufacturers all know that the future lies in alternative refrigerants. So they are modernizing their factories and start to build heat pumps instead of gas boilers, and also with other refrigerants, with the alternative refrigerants. So I think they are switching faster than we know, and then we can train our technicians. So potential hazards are going to turn up when our technicians are not trained and certified very well, and they can only buy equipment which is charged with natural alternative refrigerants. So that's a big thing that worries me. Now, what is needed in the next 12 months? Yeah, we need some. Yes, thank you, Marco. We need some clarity about implementation of the Implementing Act in the national schemes. It's a big challenge for the most countries. We have to reorganize mutual recognition of certificates, so our people can move throughout all Europe to work. Yeah, quick scale up, as I told already. Quick scale up of certification and training systems. We need a good cooperation between the ARIA members. Together we're strong. And also we need cooperation with the other industrial associations, as shown here: Eurovent, EPE, EHPA, ASERCOM. We have to work together as an industry to get things done. That's my time. I have a few minutes. Last slide. What are we going to do as ARIA? We published our F-gas guide. It's on our stand. It's released this week, and we are advocating clarity from the European Commission about the Implementing Act, about mutual recognition of certificates. We have to develop training and education programs, which are captured in the Skill Safe project, Real Alternatives. So that projects already have started. Guidelines for installation and maintenance of RCP systems, charged with R219. that's captured in the skills project. And another thing that we need to do, and that's a little bit of underestimated, that is adapt the standards, the EN and the ISO standards for the new alternative refrigerants. And of course, we have to stimulate cooperation between ourselves and the rest of the industry. So that's about it. For more details, my colleagues are gonna take you with the next few presentations. So thank you. Stepan. Stepan, will you take you through the Implementing Act?
It will be my pleasure. You done? Yeah. Can I start? Okay, so good afternoon. I'm glad I can see so many faces of professionals in this area. So let's go to the agenda. My task today is to talk about the Implementing Acts on certification, on the new EFGA certification. Just briefly introduce myself. My name is Stepan Stojanov. I'm from the Czech Association of Refrigeration and Air Conditioning, and I'm also Vice President of area. The new EU regulation on fluorinated greenhouse gases sets new obligations for natural and legal persons regarding activities for systems and types of refrigerants which are in the scope of this act. As you may have noticed, the scope is wider than it was before. We have some new blends, we have some new types of equipment, and also what's interesting and what is new, that the certification scheme also includes non-fluorinated refrigerants like hydrocarbons, CO2, and ammonia. If you look at the scope of the regulation that was before, it means 517-2014, and the new regulation 2024-573, you can see that the old regulation included HFC refrigerants. Now, it also includes HFOs, hydrocarbons, CO2, and ammonia. If we talk about refrigeration systems, the old regulation included only the stationary refrigeration, air conditioning, and heat pumps. Now, also these are included, of course, but also mobile refrigeration units on trucks and trailers. And if we talk about the mobile air conditioning, the scope is also wider. The new group of systems on refrigerated light-duty vehicles, intermodal containers, train wagons, and as well as organic Rankine cycles. So right now, the regulation basically covers all types of systems with all types of refrigerants, which is brand new, and that's why our technicians need more training and upskilling to those new systems and new types of refrigerants. So the implementing regulation 2020-2215, which is brand new, it came into force on 29th of September this year, so a couple of weeks ago, and as the previous one, it sets the basic rules for the certifications of personnel and also companies. Leak checks on equipment with HFCs and HFOs, installation of equipment, also with the new refrigerants, repair, maintenance, and servicing, as well as the decommissioning and recovery of fluorinated greenhouse gases. These are the activities that are covered by the certification scheme. As I said, it entered the force on 29th of September, and the regulation gives all the member states 1 year to to implement all the necessary things that they need to be implemented, especially certification schemes and training schemes to be available in 12 months, which you may say it's quite a long time, but for some countries, especially small countries, to have a certification scheme and training centers ready for example, ammonia, will be quite a task, because the demand will not be as big as it is for certification on F-gases. So what's inside the implementing regulation? There are now 6 types of certificates according to type of refrigerant and also activity that it covers. So forget about the certificates 1, 2, 3, and 4, the categories. Now it's letters and also numbers. A1, A2, B, C, D, and E. Holders of the certificates issued by the old regulation will have to undergo refreshment courses to update their knowledge and skills to the required level, no later by 12th of March 2029. So it's roughly 5 years for all those technicians who already have their F-gas certificates that they need to get it renewed to be upskilled for the new types of refrigerants. So more details about the types of certificates. Certificate A1, attesting that the holders may carry out all the activities provided in this article in relation to fluorinated greenhouse gases and hydrocarbons. Certificate A2 is very similar, but there is a regulation of a charge limit of the refrigerant. So hydrocarbons and fluorinated gases with on equipment with a charge size of less than 3 kilograms, or if hermetically sealed systems, then it would be 6 kilograms. So this will be the largest group of the certificates, which includes the, let's say, old refrigerants, non-flammable refrigerants, fluorinated gases, and also includes the hydrocarbons and types of certificates, one without limit on the refrigerant charge, and the second with a limit for smaller systems. The second one was basically made for household devices like heat pumps and air conditioning in flats and family houses. Certificate B and C, these are brand new, and the guys who need it are the guys who work with CO2 or ammonia. They didn't need those certificates before. It's a new thing. And in some states in the European Union, there is no certification scheme on these refrigerants. So for those states, it will be quite a task to start the certification system. And then certificates D and E, basically the same as the categories 3 and 4 for reclaiming refrigerants from the systems, and also leak checks without entering the refrigeration cycle. This is how it evolves. So if you take the refreshment course, you have category 1, you would go to certificate A1, category 2, A2. These are 3 to certificate D, 4 to certificate E, and then you have B and C, which are brand new for CO2 and ammonia. So as I said, there's 5 years to have thousands of holders of old certificates to get retrained, which will be also for training centers especially quite a task to make it happen in time. There are some already existing training programs, for example, on hydrocarbons or CO2, covered by Real Alternatives for Life program. My colleague Marco will be talking about it more in detail. And also recognition of the certificates. Of course, all the member states shall recognize the certificates issued by another member state as it was before. There is no change. member states may require holders of certificate issued in another member state to provide a translation of the other language that they would like to work in. Thank you for your attention, and I give the floor to Marco.
Thank you very much, Stepan. Let me put this one working fine. Not. Anyway, we can do it like that, no problem for me. So I'm Marco Buoni, past president of AREA. I would like to talk to you about what is available already in our Europe as schemes for training certification in light of our new regulation. So there are already some available schemes. We said earlier, there is a available scheme on national certification in place for alternative refrigerant in Denmark. In Estonia is coming, in Finland, in Netherlands, in Spain. Probably even more countries already got some scheme on alternative refrigerant, in particular on natural refrigerants. AREA did an internal survey recently, and we asked one question, one very simple question. How many technicians are trained in your country? This survey is very important for the European Commission to understand how are in line with the equipment available with natural refrigerant in the sector. So, for example, in Italy, let's say in ammonia, 2% of people that are trained for F-gases are trained for ammonia at the moment. 5% of CO2, 10% for hydrocarbon small, 3% for hydrocarbon large. Of course, this is now in line with available systems inside our countries. But as we know, we are going to grow the number of systems with natural refrigerants, so we need to grow this number of available technicians which can handle refrigerants, which are toxic, which are high pressure, which are flammable. We have a program, realtennis.eu. It's free of charge. You can go on site. There are all these countries already available. There are two which are by mistake, is my mistake, are not green, but also all these countries are 25 countries, 21 from EU, 17 languages. This is very important because we have to remember that we want mutual recognition, the same level of competence around Europe. We have the same problem, we need the same solution. We need theory, of course, but the most important part is the practice. How to make safely handle this refrigerant by technicians. So we already got fully equipped laboratories focusing on safety issues. We already trained and certified 2,000 people so far under Real Alternatives. We have been assessing training center, giving the right equipment you should use for doing the training for CO2, for hydrocarbons, what is needed for handling hydrocarbons with red cylinders, with left with adapter for fan, for safety, environment, and sustainability. What are the procedures that are different? Of course, we need a very well ventilated area, free from source of ignition, with the right equipment, in particular for flammable refrigerant, but of course we always had needed for ammonia. We need leak testing equipment suitable for the new refrigerants. Charging is different. Hydrocarbons need half weight normally of refrigerant instead of HFCs, so you need more accurate. You need a more accurate scale for doing it. And then the recovery or the venting. Of course, you can vent CO2, but you have to be careful not to create dry ice when you're venting CO2 from a high pressure, so it can block the system doing the venting. And you don't know that there is still CO2 high pressure inside, and you can create trouble. You need to recover ammonia, you need to recover HFCs, of course, by law. And what about hydrocarbons? You can vent, which is just for low amount, 150 grams. But again, for safety purposes, we prefer to recovery. Now there are many available equipment for recovery, for leak testing, for the pressure gauge. We need the fan, which is very important to use for be sure that we don't have a concentration of flammable refrigerant, which is heavier than air, inside a small room, for example. That was me. I was quick, 7 minutes to everyone, like myself. Next one will be my colleague, Thanos from Greece. Thank you so much. Thanos will speak about the importance of training and certification.
Before you leave, please put the photograph you had from Italy, because we have trained even Santa Claus for real alternatives, because this guy is like Santa Claus. Yeah, this guy here, you see? We train everyone, including Santa Claus. So, thank you. Okay, so maybe put the next one.
So you have to look here.
Okay,
Go one more.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Marco. Thank you, everyone. I am Thanos Biris. I am a mechanical engineer from Greece. I am president of Hellas Union of CAS and member of area, and I'm in the area board as a treasurer. So, following up what all of the other colleagues said about training and how important it is, I would like to underline why it is important to have the success of this is the FCAS 3, as we call him, and also the Implementary Act is again number 3. Why it's important to train all the technicians in the field, including the mechanical engineers that they are maybe making all the new schedules, the new production, and so on, in order to succeed in this effort that the European Union is trying to do, meaning that we have to go from F gases to alternative refrigerant gases that have some small problems of working, like flammability, toxicity, and pressure levels. So it is very important to have proper training in the same, to ensure that we have all the same practice throughout Europe in order to have the best practice for safe handling, either it is installation, maintenance, or even at the end of life of the product, the air conditioning or refrigeration equipment, in order to be able to standardize the level across EU in all the industry. So we have 3 main aspects to look after. It's environment, performance, because why are we changing the gases? We're changing due to the fact that they have GWP. So it's like leaking CO2 in the atmosphere, yes. But if we use another gas, not so good, not so efficient. In this case, again, we are going to send to the atmosphere CO2 because of the electrical power that you need. And if the assumption is not good, in this case, again, we have CO2. So in one hand, we go to a different gas, no GWP or low GWP, but on the other hand, it's not the energy efficiency we have to consider. And of course, safety, because first of all, and above all, I would say, is the safety of the technicians in the field, and of course, the people that are using the machinery, the air conditioning and the refrigeration equipment, which they are everywhere, from food, industry, pharmacy, whatever sector you go, you have either cooling or air conditioning and even heating with the heat pumps. So the 4 sectors that we are interested are more or less from the beginning, from the production, until the end of life, reclaim and recycle. So we have training for the industry and the production. It's very important because they have, always I think it as an opportunity. We have to make new technology, we have to make new machinery. In this case, it's difficult to decide where to go, and of course you need training in order to avoid danger from high pressure we have in CO2. Flammability, of course we have it with the hydrocarbons, and at the end toxicity with ammonia. Second part, very important, as we told before, is the energy efficiency, because the new production must be with new refrigerant, but also with a very high energy efficiency product. Otherwise, it's like doing nothing. We cut CO2 from one side and we lose it on the other one. Then again, we need training programs, which is important because we have to go to eco-friendly alternatives, but we have to be able to have the knowledge and, of course, the safety of all the people included in the line of production. The second thing I want to say is about installation. Very quick. We have difficulties in installation, so we need to train the people in the field that they are installing the new machinery, the new eco-efficient and products. Again, there are risk assessment for high pressure, flammability, toxicity. We have to be sure that they make the leak detection, either it is for flammability or if it's an F-gas, it's important to do. And it's in the regulation to do leak detection. And again, we need practice safe for safe handling, always for the people in the field. The same is about maintenance. I would say we have leak checks. Again, if you have a very, very good, high efficiency machine, a high efficiency air conditioning equipment, okay, and or a refrigeration system that was at the beginning of its life perfect.
Hello?
We lost the battery. Okay, so to ensure that we have the energy efficiency, always the clients forget to maintain the system. They don't want to spend money in maintenance, but maintenance is important also in energy efficiency and also in retrofit, changing from old refrigerants to new ones that have lower GWP. Again, keeping the safety rules and whatever we need. And at the end of life, which is something that they usually, in a lot of countries, forget, the end of life means that you have to take the gas from the old machinery and send it either to recycle or reuse or even to destroy it with a proper way in order not to have problems with the atmosphere, the CO2. So this was for me. I think I was on time, although I had some problems. Thank you very much. And I will give the floor.
Well done. You are on time perfectly. Now Deniss is going to talk to you how we do this training, what is the equipment we use, and so he's going to talk about refrigerant education, future-proof, environmental friendly, and safe to use refrigerants. This for you, and this is okay.
Next one.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. I will try. Hello to everyone. So we try to talk about flammable gases and what we can do to help old specialists or for a new one take experience and knowledges about flammable gases. So first of all, flammable gases must be attention for the general question about flammable gases. It's about safety. Safety with working and about area of usage of these flammable gases. We have a lot of equipment like mobile conditions and some monoblocks which are installed inside the building, so each one can be filled up with refrigerant like propane and not more than 150 grams. But it's very difficult to control how much units you have inside. So you must be attention for how and where you put your refrigerant filled unit inside the area.
The role of education and training program is very important for safety of our technician, of our contractors. So we must discuss and explain what they must do, where they can find the information about new equipment and about new tools which they need to use to work with new flammable gases. Safety first, and the same time we must understand that if you use special tools for like a vacuum pump, they must be marked that it's suitable to use with refrigerants which are H3 group, and the area where you use this equipment must be very good ventilated, because you must exceed the concentration of flammable gases inside the area where you use your equipment. So we have also another one problem about PFAS, but I think other people have more information about it, and it's not enough time to discuss about it right now. Sorry for it. So we have the ISO standard, which provide us information about the refrigerants, and we have different classes of safety. So we have a refrigerant high flammable, like class H3. A at B classes difference, it's toxic or not toxic. So if we have a refrigerant with A class, it's not so toxic. If it's B class, like ammonia, it's very toxic for usage. So it must be more safety and more informed person, and it must be a special certificate from the next year. I talk with companies who provide and manufacturers who provide equipment on ammonia, and they are very well informed about what is inside. They very well mark all equipment about what is inside, and they can provide safety information about any point of this product. So it's not a point today to get more information about ammonia and product which consists of ammonia. So it's very safety today, and we have a big hall with equipment which consists ammonia, and they use it every day. And by the way, they start optimize the equipment like big chillers, industrial chillers, which right now is filled up with ammonia, but the quantity of ammonia is less of each new system. So they use different heat exchangers, so they use different system to optimize the quantity of ammonia inside to be more safety. So we still have a class 3, which are high flammable gases, and we have different classes like class 1, which no flammable at all. But right now on the exhibition I saw many different gases, and it's maybe marked like class 1, but it can consist some components, it's a mixture, and it can consist some components which are from different classes. So maybe it will be a big problem next time. So it's some part of comparative characteristic of new gases. So we have flammable gases which are marked in the group A to L, but it's still flammable. We have 454A flammable, and propane. We everyone know that propane, butane, and other gases are extremely flammable. But if we look for other one, it's not so big different. So technician, what we have, we must do a good training and explain what happens if equipment what will sell today on the market, not enough marked. I find only one big chiller which is filled with propane, where was marked that it's flammable gas inside. It have a red sticker, and you can see that it's flammable. Other one doesn't have. We have all mark for propane, like a yellow mark. It's flammable, but actually it's yellow. I think it's different to explain for personnel or some people who use this equipment that it's extremely flammable and it's extremely dangerous. At this point, we must to investigate more time and money to explain to everyone, to every technician, about what this mark mean. So everyone knows the new condition with R32, that it's group A to L. It's not so dangerous, not so flammable, but still it can be very aggressive to a technician because it have a high pressure inside. We try to find new solutions how to involve technician in training process, motivate technician in training process, and give some new knowledges like for technician, for they have to know what to do. Okay. Today, technicians are very important in our market, in our programs, and we're not so fast to help all the clients. That's why we have a lot of plumbers, a lot of electrical guys who install and try to do a maintenance of heat pumps. That's why today we are all colleagues, and we must cooperate to provide more information for everyone. So we will try. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deniss was very nice. You spoke about how to do training. This was your scope. You did very well. Now I want to pass the word to my colleague Said El Harch. We are not alone. Europe is not alone. We have also Africa, and we need to do the same in Africa. Is it right, Said?
Thank you, Marco. Can you hear me? Yes, thank you, Marco. Thank you, everyone. Yes, correct. Whatever you do, we will follow. Wait. Can you hear me? No. Hello? Can you hear me? So go back again. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, everyone. Correct. What we've seen today is very interesting. And whatever you're doing in Europe, we will probably doing it very, very soon in Africa. And in fact, in some countries, it's well advanced. I'll come back to this. My name is Said El Harch. I'm a General Secretary of UTRIZAC, which is the Union of the African Associations, the equivalent of area, but in Africa. We're a group, 54 countries. So that's our mission. What we do, we try similar combat, similar fight, trying to trying to emphasize the importance of training, but more importantly in Africa, emphasize the importance of refrigeration. In some countries, refrigeration or cooling is still regarded as a luxury, where we fight to make it a necessity. So briefly, because we have a very short period, I'll talk about the growing demand for refrigeration in Africa. Most of you guys know this. The importance of refrigeration in agriculture, food security, health, and the environment and safety challenges facing us in Africa, and the role of collaboration between Europe and Africa. So what is the state of refrigeration in Africa? Briefly, refrigeration, we can divide Africa into three different zones: North Africa, South Africa, and then Sub-Saharan South Africa. North Africa developed refrigeration system thanks to the relation, the import-export with Europe and the rest of the world. South Africa, similar, but then there is a big gap in Sub-Saharan Africa where the whole cold chain has to be developed. high dependence on outdated and energy inefficient systems, lack of widespread adoption of low GWP refrigerant. Bear in mind, what's coming with the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol will probably accelerate this transfer. There are emerging opportunities in agribusiness, fishery, tourism, data centers. Just a couple of figures. Very low cold storage capacity in Africa. We have around 90 liters per inhabitants comparing to 200 for the rest of the world. Tells you the potential that is existing in this part of the world. What efficient collaboration together. We're trying to align with the European colleague. In fact, we've missed this period of HFC, but we try to catch up with this new regulation, and especially hydrocarbon. And some people actually developed in that term. If I give an example, Tunisia is ahead of the pack, is almost coming with a certification scheme with hydrocarbon and natural refrigerant. So we're trying to catch up what we've missed for the last 10, 15 years. We also want to develop African-specific refrigeration system and guidelines. Bear in mind, you guys manufacturer, you've designed an equipment based on certain design condition, most probably 32 degrees condensing. It's completely different for Europe, in Africa, sorry. So you guys, you have to adapt to the local market in order to be efficient. It's not selling new equipment doesn't mean efficiency equipment. If we design at 32 and it's 45 degrees ambient, question mark. Of course, training for safe handling and alternative refrigerant. There are some training going on in partnership with our colleague in Africa. Again, I go back to the Tunisian samples. They almost have the certification scheme. What you guys are looking to achieve in 1 year, 2, 3 years time, they're almost ready. Training is very, very important. And of course, build a very strong framework for monitoring and enforcing the standards. The lack of regulation is a big issue and a big hurdle for the development of the cold chain and the cooling in general in Africa. So what are we looking? Sharing technology, experience, and standard. We're looking at transferring expertise mainly on natural and flammable refrigerant. Adaptation of energy efficient refrigeration system to the local market. Introduce smart refrigeration solution because power consumption is an issue. Energy is a big hurdle again in Africa. So we have to be smart and develop solution that is not abusing the power supply. Create affordable, scalable solution for rural and urban market Africa. 80% of the production, the food production, 80% of the food production in rural area in Africa is wasted. 80. That's a lot. So people can benefit from it. Analysis of Europe's success in adapting sustainable refrigeration practices and copy and apply it. Presenting African case studies on refrigeration implementation, what we're doing today, and sharing data on refrigerant usage and energy consumptions. Let me remind you guys, Earth is a volume, is not a surface. So we have gas emission in Europe, we suffer in Africa, and vice versa. So think about it as a volume and not only a surface. Very important. Identifying key challenges through collaborative research. Thank you, Marco. Joint R&D project, develop technologies specific to the climate in Africa, innovation for the African market, and give incentive to African innovation with support from European partners, but of course is a win-win situation, not question of supporting, but emphasizing my product. Just me give you an example, and COVID made it clear, only 22 out of 54 countries were ready for the vaccine during the COVID period. Question to be asked here. And of course, the losses are quite high, in general between 40 and 50%, but on the rural area where you have fish and agriculture, that goes up to 80%. Common plan against anti-dumping, because whatever you guys have finished with, we receive it back home, and that has to stop. So retirement of high GWP refrigerant plants, they finish in Africa, we have to stop. We have to raise awareness about danger of importing obsolete refrigeration system, regulate the enforcement, and report on this. So, urgency for adopting sustainable refrigeration technology with flammable refrigerant, but please first train the people. There is no need to send equipment with flammable refrigerant to kill the people. Train them and give them equipment, and not the opposite. Train more technician, collaboration, and commit to a shared sustainable refrigeration future between Africa and Europe. So, importance of collaboration between Africa and Europe, long-term sustainable refrigeration practices, creating safer, greener refrigeration system for all, and invitation to further engagement, and you're more welcome to Africa. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Said. So please, the presenters come here to the floor, to the stand. And I'd like to ask if you have questions. We have here experts from Greece, Netherlands, Latvia, Africa, and is missing one. Where is Stepan? Okay. Stepan is coming. So, please, what about training and certification? What is your opinion about training and certification? What point we are and where we need to go for training and certification? Please, tell me your opinion about it. Any questions? Sorry? No. So, I ask one question to you and to them. I listed 4 countries that they already got certification schemes available. I mentioned Estonia, Netherlands, Spain, and Denmark. Did I miss any? What about Sweden, UK, or Norway? You are from? Denmark, you got it, yeah? Oh. You want to add something? Do you want to add? No. In Norway, you have it? No. Please, Thanos.
We have to be everybody has to be ready until September of 2025. 26th of September 2025, because all the SIMs must be sent to the European Union from each member state. For example, in Greece and Cyprus, because I work in both countries for training, in Cyprus they are very quick. They say maybe in January, in February, they will have the SIM ready. In Greece, they hope that they will be ready on September. We will see. It depends on each country. The most difficult thing is about ammonia and CO2.
That is why we have to work together, because you can learn a lot from the 4 countries that already have certification in place. And we as Netherlands, we want to share everything with our fellow members in area to accelerate the development of training and certification systems. So I think that is what is needed. And looking at that Africa, the same offer counts. We can help you wherever we can. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to add something? No. You want to add something? Please say it.
Yes, I'd just like to thank you. Thank you for the offer. And again, something I did quickly, think about it as a volume. The word is a volume. So whatever we do here impacts somewhere different in the world. And technician, we come from different places, different languages, different continents, but we speak the same language, which is refrigeration. That's what I think. Thank you for your invitation, Marco.
Okay, if nobody have a question, I think we can end now this session. Thank you very much to the speakers. Thank you very much to the audience. Well done, and let's do work together. Stronger we are if we are together. Thank you.